you can see it. Good evening, everyone. Marcy, for our notes, Commissioner Malinowski has a work conflict and will not be able to join us this evening. And also, there was an executive session held by the board immediately before our meeting tonight to discuss personnel matters. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Chief Hoover, who has some commendations today. Chief. Commissioner.
Captain Robert Zerman, Lieutenant Janelle Schmack, Firefighter Paula Favor, and Deputy Chief Reinhardt. You all come forward, please. Everybody hear me back there? Okay. So basically, I'm going to read the citations off. I'm just going to read one instead of boring with all four, because they pretty much say the exact same thing. On the evening of April 4th, 2023, officers from the Muhlenberg Township Police Department, along with the Muhlenberg Township Fire Company and the Muhlenberg Township Ambulance Association, were dispatched to the intersection of Route 61 and Hartman Road. The dispatch was for a motor vehicle accident with injuries and possible vehicle fire. Once the police officers arrived, two of the officers were preoccupied with conducting routine accident duties, such as directing traffic and obtaining witness statements. A third officer, Officer Fenstermacher, was interviewing one of the drivers. The subject's behavior became belligerent and stated he wanted to die. The subject then stated he wanted Officer Fenstermacher to shoot him. Officer Fenstermacher continued attempts to de-escalate the situation, and even though being pushed by the subject, Officer Fenstermacher made several attempts to back away from the subject. However, the final shove caused Officer Fenstermacher to fall backwards onto the ground. The subject then got on top of Officer Fenstermacher and started assaulting him. Before other officers on the scene were alerted to the altercation, several firefighters and EMS personnel stepped in to assist Officer Fenstermacher. As soon as the other officers were made aware, they too attempted to take the subject into custody. Once the subject was in custody, he was placed in the back of a police unit and was transported to Rain Hospital. However, while en route, the subject continued to be defiant and was banging his head on the cage and side window. Before he was even allowed to get out of the patrol vehicle at the hospital, just to give you an idea of this person's behavior, medical staff came outside and sedated him inside the patrol unit. So your actions in coming to the aid of the police officer in need are commendable and an outstanding example of professionalism and teamwork. Without your intervention, it is possible that Officer Fenstermacher could have been more seriously injured. For your actions that evening, you're officially commended on your actions. Thank you. Anything you guys want to say? Commissioner?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's outstanding work to come to the aid of an officer. I don't think anybody in the public really understands sometimes just what it takes to be a police officer or a volunteer firefighter or one of our ambulance crew. It is just amazing work that they do. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. think at this time is for our first, time of the first public portion, and I see Linda is signed in from our library.
I just wanted to say that there's about 2.5 weeks left to the photographic display from Dean Patton and the Fairgrounds Racing Historical Society. I'd say we've had approximately 200 different people who have never been in the library or we're not coming in for books. They came in for the display. And I'm sure Mr. Wolfinger and Mr. Lurchel, it was very interesting. It really was. I also put out some more copies of the restaurants. They start this weekend. Wednesday is the first one for Panera Bread, and papers are there if you can help support the library. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very interesting display. So, just nice to talk to the judge and everybody who was there that remembers the racetrack is very interesting. At this time, I need a motion to approve the entire consent agenda. So moved. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Under unfinished business, I would just like to say that the board was meeting to work on updating our comprehensive plan. Met earlier this month. We actually had a very detailed printed plan presented by the Planning Commission, the Berks County Planning Commission, for members of Muhlenberg Township and the Borough of Laureldale and the Muhlenberg School District to review. The original plan was for us to approve changes and then to bring the plan forward for public review. However, upon further review of the plan, and I will tell you the plan is very thick. Plan contains a lot of detail, so that we decided upon review that it still requires some further editing at this point. And we will be meeting again next month to offer changes, at which point we'll then send it back for a final print. And it will be forthcoming to the general public for review then sometime later this summer. So that's all I have to add. Is there anything else under unfinished business? Okay, moving on. I need a motion to approve the payment of bills presented by the Director of Finance and Customer Service. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Motion to approve $1,500 sponsorship to the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. So,
I'll second.
any questions or comments? I would like to just add that the Greater Reading Chamber does an awful lot to promote local business. We have been sponsors for many, many years. I don't know if anybody else would like to add anything to that. I think they do a great deal in promoting the area.
And we do work with them very regularly on redevelopment projects, parcels that are vacant or in need of redevelopment.
We need to. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to authorize the solicitor to advertise an ordinance recognizing Muhlenberg Township Fire and Rescue Incorporated as the officially recognized fire company for the township of Muhlenberg. So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Just make a comment. It's nice to see firefighters here tonight, and you know, I do get notices that whenever you guys get calls, and it's like we do so much work for the township, and this board really recognizes that. We really appreciate you, and I appreciate you gentlemen there for helping out his officer. But the whole 66 is doing a great job. And this past weekend, we were in like 4 falls, I saw, so keep up the good work.
And this ordinance is just really clean up. The township's ordinance is still recognize the legacy volunteer companies. I never caught up with recognizing 66 and that's what it does. Thank you.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to authorize the public works superintendent to sell unused equipment via online auction.
So moved.
Second,
Questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to authorize the solicitor to advertise a public presentation to discuss the township MS4 plan at the May Board of Commissioners meeting.
move,
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to authorize the township manager to enter into an agreement to allow the Berks County Emergency Response Team to temporarily store their trucks in a township-owned building.
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? Jim, could you just in language? Sure.
The BSERT, or the Berks County Emergency Response Team, currently stores about 7 vehicles in one of the Palmer buildings, the RM Palmer buildings. After the incident that occurred there earlier this month, was it in April? Or after the explosion, Palmer has taken a closer look at their facilities and they've asked BSERT to vacate the premises. So the county is working on a more permanent storage facility for them. They need something in the interim. And so Jeremy has agreed to allow them to use the existing building, the oldest building at the Public Works facility at 5400 Leesport Avenue temporarily. There's no inconvenience to the operations, and so if we can help, we should help.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve payment application number 2, final to the First Signal and Lighting Incorporated for work completed on the ARLE Kutztown Road School Zone project in the amount of $76,522.50.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to award the annual road paving project to the H&K Group for contract A in the amount of $430,828.30, and contract B to construct Master Services Incorporated in the amount of $162,800.
move.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Could we let the public know which roads are going to be done? I was told.
So we're gonna be doing portions or entireties of Water Street, Tuckerton Ave, North Temple Boulevard, Darby Ave, Euclid Ave, 8th Ave, Mount Laurel Ave, and a little bit of Fire Alley. A little bit. Not the whole thing, unless we have a little extra money at the end, then we're gonna do the whole thing. But the one end is really bad by the playground. That's what I'm really focused.
Further questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to ratify the police chief's disciplinary action regarding police officers.
So moved.
Second,
We do not comment publicly on personnel actions. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any other new business to be brought before the board?
Mr. Lurch, I have one item, Dawn may want to know this as well. The township imposed certain mercantile and business privilege taxes, and the township's tax collector for those taxes is the Berks Earned Income Tax Bureau. They've been reviewing the various ordinances and regulations of the townships and boroughs who use them as tax collector, and they're trying to get them to be more uniform. For instance, it appears that currently we have mercantile and business privilege taxes paid on an estimated basis in the current year, for the current year with the reconciliation at the end. They're recommending that instead, at the end of the year, you pay actual for that year. In addition, they think we can beef up our regulations a little more to make the tax collection process clearer. And I think that, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Dawn.
No.
I think that's the upshot of it. And they're offering the services of the solicitor for Berks EIT to draft an amendment to the ordinance and regulations for your consideration. So I'm just looking for, I think I just need nodding heads. I don't think I need a motion authorization to have Dawn contact them and say, go for it.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the board?
Very good. I think I'll move forward with that. If you have any questions, Dawn, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Any other new business? All right, hearing none, this is the time for the second public portion. Is there any member of the community who should speak at this time? Buddy, everybody wants to get it out of their way? All right, well, then it'll be time for Dan comments. Chief Woodville, we can start with you.
I don't really have anything, progress working on a lot of projects in here, responding to calls as well, day-to-day operations, so I think it's going good.
Thank you. Mr. Dunkel.
Yeah, she's from the monitor, exact time of the year, it's grass cutting season and it's outdoor activity times to keep watch, take a look at maintaining your yard, your properties, noise, partying, having a good time parking on the grass, all that kind of starts up kind of right down. Just another reminder that, codes isn't just, trash, weeds and debris, it's also anything attributed to the built environment, meaning that permits are required for alterations, whether residential or commercial. And that requires plan review, approval, and inspection. So just keep that in mind when you're hiring contractors or going work around your property, that there's a process. It's not just the Muhlenberg Township codified ordinance, it's also Pennsylvania state law. Just want to pass it out, pass it on to residents out there. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. Joe. Jeremy.
Once I get with the road project contractor, we will be in touch with the residents that live on the streets that we're doing and look for our, on the website of when it's gonna be, sometime this summer. It's exactly.
I think we should congratulate Jeremy on controlling the snow this time.
Yeah.
Well.
Hold on, man. Dawn. Chief.
As Mr. Dunkel said, the warmer weather's coming out. I just ask everybody to use caution with bike riders, people and kids out walking, jogging on the roadways. We had another meeting with the school district regarding the memorandum of understanding for the SRO program. Hopefully we'll have a final draft of that. Sure. Looking forward to that. That's it.
Thank you. Karen.
Want to mention the lunchtime concert in the park next Thursday, April 27th. Excuse me, out of Jim Dietrich Park from 11:30 to 1. And also, if you want to put on your calendars, our Memorial Day ceremony will be May 29th out of the flagpole at Jim Dietrich Park.
How is it great?
Yeah.
Jim.
Planning commission meeting on Wednesday of this week. That's all that I have.
Okay, move on to the Commissioner Soda.
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to Chief Hoover for organizing and recommending the accommodations for the firefighters and for the ambulance association personnel. Commissioner Lurch, I think you summarized it. It's I don't think we say enough about the good things going on in the township, and this is an excellent example of what this community is all about. So I want to thank you for initiating that.
Welcome, it was their work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Wolf.
But one of the beliefs of the community action plan is to be more open to the public. And we record these meetings every month. And you can go back to the old meetings on YouTube. And it's, you know, if we look at tonight's night, there might be 6 people viewing what's going on in here. So I just spread it around, you know, you can't come to a meeting, want to know what's going on with the township. And tonight's not the standard meeting, usually these meetings are an hour long, there's a lot of other things that are mentioned. That's one way you can kind of see what's going on in your township. YouTube, the old township commissioner meeting, and you can go back to all the old meetings.
Can I ask a question about that? So when will tonight's meeting be on YouTube?
So I'm right now.
So no.
Oh, so it's
Stream's
live.
live.
Okay, and then it's there forever, just so I could tell you.
Great, thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Pagano.
No comments, just thank you for being here today, everyone.
I'll just close up by also thanking everybody for being here and just, thank you again, Chief, for the accommodations, and thank you everybody for your service. It is one community. I hope everybody keeps that in mind. With that, we are adjourned.